1. Pheromones, Guns, and Bad Decisions. Flashback. When chaos met Clingy. 3 years ago. The underground black market gala buzzed beneath layers of velvet shadows, blood money, and the metallic scent of danger. Gold chandeliers glittered like fangs above the crowd. Fine suits, stolen diamonds, mercenaries in designer shades, all mingling over smuggled wine and silent death threats. At the center of it all stood Alaric Vesper, alpha of the Vesper Syndicate, ruthless, sharp-jawed, cigar-smoking, and untouchably cold. He wore black gloves and a dark burgundy coat, leaning against a marble column like a king surveying his disposable court. Until he walked in. Raiden Blackthorn. Tall, dressed in all black, crisp, expensive, a face like a curse carved by gods who didn't believe in mercy. He moved like shadows answered to him, and they did. Conversation stopped, eyes widened. No one expected the Ghost King to come in person. Raiden didn't blink. His golden eyes locked on Alaric the moment he entered. Then, to everyone's horror and confusion, he smiled and whispered with absolute certainty, "That's him. That alpha is my destined mate." Alaric arched an eyebrow, puffed on his cigar, and muttered flatly, "What?" Raiden took a step closer, voice hushed like a vow. "You're mine. I just found you." The cigar paused midair. Alaric snorted. "Go howl at someone else, you mutt." But Raiden just beamed, eyes dreamy like a teenage boy seeing his celebrity crush. From that moment onward, the Mafia world lost its collective mind. Because the most dangerous man alive became clingy. He started following Alaric everywhere. Meetings? He'd show up uninvited with snacks and murder plans. Dinners? Bought the restaurant and cleared it. Alaric's mansion? Raiden bought the building next door and the one after that. At one point, Alaric moved cities. Raiden was already waiting there. "Welcome home, darling." One time, a rival boss insulted Alaric's shoes. Next day, Raiden handed Alaric a box with ears in it. "He said those ugly things about your taste, so I thought, you deserved his." Alaric threw the box at him. "What the actual And every time Alaric sneezed, 3 entire families vanished overnight. The underworld watched in terror as the Enigma Lord, Raiden Blackthorn, transformed into a hard-eyed, obsessed, weaponized puppy. He'd text Alaric things like, "Don't forget lunch, Tilda. I had someone killed for looking at your lips today. 3. Flashback ends. From that day 3 years ago till this day, Raiden roams around Alaric like a clingy puppy in love. The underground auction was never meant to be relaxing. But Alaric didn't expect it to turn into a disaster featuring pheromones, gunfire, and an accidental soul bonding with a delusional idiot. He adjusted his collar, scanning the crowd with narrowed eyes. The atmosphere reeked of desperation, testosterone, and overpriced jewels. "Are you wearing cologne again?" he growled. Next to him, Raiden grinned like a golden retriever with a rocket launcher. "It's the one you said didn't make you gag last month." That was sarcasm. "I know, but it gave me hope." Alaric sighed, muttered something about committing arson, and moved on. The auction began. Weapons, artifacts, illegal serums all rolled out one after another. Until boom. The vents above hissed. Then a thick, shimmering mist flooded the room. Alaric stiffened. "Shit! Darling!" Raiden's voice sharpened. Alaric's body tensed. His skin burned. His breath caught. Enigma pheromones. Not just any. Concentrated, illegal-grade Enigma pheromones. Designed to make alphas weaken, overheat, lose control. Raiden's eyes went wide, then feral. "No. No, no, no." Alaric staggered. "I'm fine, don't touch me. You're going into rut. Don't you dare." But instincts kicked in. The predator in Raiden surged forward. His voice dropped low, trembling. "You're mine. I can't let anyone—" Alaric's knees buckled. Heat coiled in his stomach. Sweat dripped down his spine. His suppressed cycles crashed into him like a train wreck. Raiden caught him before he hit the floor. And then, teeth, claws, mating marks. Alaric, mid-overdose, bit him back shoulder, arm, neck, in furious, instinctual retaliation. He was only half conscious when Raiden wrapped him in his coat, kissed his temple, and whispered, "You're safe now. You're mine." Morning. Somewhere very luxurious and stupidly expensive. Alaric woke up in silk sheets, shirtless, sore in places he really didn't want to think about. His neck throbbed. His scent had changed. His inner alpha, confused, hormonal, bonded. He turned his head. Raiden was sitting beside the bed looking like a smug, well-fed disaster, holding a tray of breakfast and 3 murder reports. "Good morning, sunshine." Alaric blinked. "Did you just bond me while I was high on illegal pheromones?" Raiden beamed. "You look so pretty when you bit me on my arms and shoulders. You love me now." Alaric stared, sat up slowly, pulled a pillow, threw it at his face. "You love me now," Raiden repeated, cheerfully dodging it. "Your alpha instincts told me everything. The biting. So romantic." Alaric screamed, "I'm going to kill you." Kiss first. Chapter 2. And now I'm nesting. Seriously. It had been 6 weeks since the incident. The incident being Alaric Vesper accidentally getting bonded and bred during a pheromone-induced blackout by a clingy enigma stalker with Mafia killer eyes and 0 chill. He had been trying to ignore the symptoms. The nausea, the sensitivity. The way his instincts screamed at him to curl up with soft blankets and murder anything that moved too fast. And now, sitting in his private medical suite, arms crossed, wearing sunglasses indoors like a celebrity avoiding scandals, Alaric waited with all the grace of a bomb ticking under silk. His doctor was sweating. The guards outside were silent. His instincts were in code red denial mode trademark. Finally, the doctor cleared his throat and said softly, "Alpha Vesper, you are approximately 3 weeks pregnant." Boom. No, not literal, but spiritually, mentally, emotionally, everything exploded. "Excuse me?" Alaric said calmly. Then less calmly, "What the heck?" Crash. The door slammed open. In strode Raiden Blackthorn 6'3", of pure, chaotic, obsessed enigma. "Did I hear that correctly?" Raiden beamed. "My mate, our baby. You're not even supposed to be here," Alaric started. Raiden rushed forward and hugged him mid-rant, nuzzling his face into Alaric's neck. "I'm going to be a dad," he squealed, practically glowing. "I need to buy weapons, and diapers, and maybe a tank. A cute baby tank." Alaric stood frozen, wide-eyed, as Raiden spun around in joy like a teenage girl in a music video. Then he snapped, "Get your psycho hands off me. I don't want your stupid mansion." Alaric didn't remember agreeing to go with Raiden, probably because he didn't. He woke up in a car with blackout glass, arms folded, glaring out the window while Raiden was practically bouncing in the seat beside him. "Surprise! I built us a house." "It's a kidnapping," Alaric growled. "This is literally a kidnapping." "No," Raiden said sweetly. "It's a surprise relocation for family bonding and improved Wi-Fi." They arrived at a secluded mountainside fortress mansion, too luxurious, too secure, an absolutely screaming, clingy billionaire mafia enigma with attachment issues. Raiden led him inside like a tour guide on 5 espressos. I added soundproof panic rooms with snacks, a spa, and... He opened a door with a flourish. "Our baby's nesting suite." Alaric blinked. It was gold-lined, temperature-controlled, and decorated with 900 thread count sheets, plush furniture, and an absurd amount of high-end pillows shaped like knives, dragons, and, worst of all, Raiden's face. "What the actual hell is this?" Alaric whispered. Raiden smiled with deadly softness. "It's for your instincts, to help you feel safe, loved, and slightly overwhelmed with expensive affection." "I'm going to blow this place up?" "That's okay. I built it bomb-proof. I knew you'd say that." Escape attempt. #1. Window edition. 3 days later, Alaric launched himself out of a 3rd-story window. Unfortunately, Raiden's men had been waiting. They caught him mid-air in a custom safety net that literally had glittery letters spelling, "You're loved, 3." Alaric screamed. "Put me down. I will bite you." One of the guards muttered, "Sir, he already bit me twice this morning." Back inside, Raiden welcomed him with open arms and zero shame. "You're so active today. Is it the pregnancy glow? Or were you just missing my attention again?" Alaric flung a chair at him. "Find my alpha, the App of Doom." After 3 more escape attempts, including trying to bribe the gardener with gold bars and threatening to marry the enemy gang leader just to annoy Raiden, the Enigma took drastic steps. He handed Alaric a new phone. "Behold," he announced proudly, "the future of stalkerware love. Find my alpha." Alaric stared. "You made a tracking app. It comes with a snuggle alert, a mood scanner, and emergency cuddle override. Also memes." Alaric scrolled through. "Even if you run, baby, I own the airports. 3. You look so cute vomiting this morning. Our baby must be strong. You're my favorite war criminal." He hurled the phone into the koi pond. Raiden had 3 backups: hormones, murder, and fluffy towels. In the following weeks, Alaric's moods were unpredictable. He insulted a vase to its face. He threw a knife at Raiden for touching his hair, then kissed him 2 hours later out of nowhere and punched him immediately after. Raiden, for his part, treated every meltdown like a divine experience. "You hate me so passionately," he whispered once, as Alaric yelled at him. "I can feel the love through your death threats." Alaric, "I will literally poison your cereal." Raiden, "Can we share a blanket first?" Late night chaos. One night, Alaric woke up feeling off, sweaty, tired, his belly slightly rounder than before, the sheets too soft, Raiden's arm draped over him like a possessive seatbelt. He turned, stared at Raiden's sleeping face, muttered, "I hate you." Raiden, still half asleep, nuzzled his neck and mumbled, "Love you too, sunshine." Alaric paused. Didn't throw him off the bed this time. Not yet, anyway. Chapter 3. Enemies everywhere, but he's my real problem. The wedding was unnecessarily luxurious. Golden roses, velvet chairs, 500 guests who were all required to sign NDA contracts, bulletproof suits, and a rooftop sniper team just for fun. And at the altar, wearing a blood-red suit, stood Alaric Vesper, looking violently beautiful and mildly confused. Because just 1 week ago, when Raiden had proposed for the first time, Alaric had responded with, "You bend one knee and I'll break both of them." Now, here he was, married, pregnant, wearing a custom embroidered jacket that said, "Property of the clingy mutant Enigma." Raiden's words, not his. Even as the priest said, "You may now kiss the groom," Alaric whispered to himself, "How the hell did he talk me into this?" Spoiler. It involved an international yacht, 57 threats, 13 hours of soft begging, and one very embarrassing cuddle session after Alaric caught a fever and Raiden did not leave his side once. Word on the streets, the Mafia world was quiet for 2 seconds. Just 2. And then the whisper hit, Alaric Vesper, the untouchable alpha, is pregnant. Cue panic. Cue chaos. Cue absolute bloodlust. Because an alpha like Alaric carrying an Enigma heir wasn't just a scandal, it was a threat to global power balance. Old enemies returned. Rival bosses, former allies, snakes in expensive suits. Their goal? Kill the alpha before the heir is born. And if possible, kill the Enigma too. Hilarious. They could try. Raiden goes full Mafia overlord. Raiden didn't take the threat well. Correction. Raiden took it like a man possessed by the gods of love, violence, and clinginess. In the span of one night, he declared war on 5 syndicates, personally assassinated 10 high-ranking Mafia leaders, burned down 3 hideouts, and still managed to text Alaric in between. "On my way back, want hot chocolate or heads on a stick? Took out that guy who called you overrated. Got you a new diamond knife too, 3. The bubble of doom." Meanwhile, Alaric was being kept in what Raiden lovingly called the security comfort bubble, which was a fancy term for 25 guards, bulletproof walls, a bloodhound that only listened to Alaric's voice, 2 personal chefs, 4 armed drones, and a biometric system that alerted Raiden every time Alaric so much as sneezed. He was not amused. "No, you don't get it," Alaric told the guards on day 3. "I will end you." Guard hash 1 blinked. "Sir, we're literally under orders not to even breathe unless you allow it." Alaric screamed, kicked a tray off the table, and shouted, "Stop treating me like I'm made of glass." The door slid open with an obnoxious chime. Raiden stepped in, holding 2 cups, 1 coffee, 1 blood, unclear whose. "You're not made of glass," he cooed. "You're made of diamond. That's why I keep polishing you, baby." Thwack. Alaric's shoe hit Raiden squarely in the chest. Raiden smiled like he'd been kissed. The rage, the hormones, the romance. Raiden didn't even flinch when Alaric punched him in the shoulder later. He just kissed the top of Alaric's head while being cussed out. "Don't touch me," Alaric growled, blushing under the fluorescent lights. "You're glowing," Raiden whispered, entirely sincere, "like a murderous angel with a vengeance complex." "You're glowing," Alaric mocked back in a deep voice. "Go die." "I would if you asked, but I'd rather live long enough to see our baby grow up and inherit our empire." "You're insane. You married me. Mistakes were made." "You cried when I held your hand during the ultrasound?" Alaric stiffened. "Shut up." The final straw. That night, someone tried to poison Alaric's food. They didn't even make it to the kitchen. Raiden personally gutted the mole and nailed their fingers to a wall, spelling "try again." Then returned to the master suite and kissed Alaric's shoulder like he'd just finished painting a romantic portrait. Alaric, curled up in an avalanche of plush nesting pillows, grunted. "Do I need to chain you to the bed next?" "I would never," Raiden said, offended. "Consent matters. Unless it's keeping you safe, then yes, maybe a designer ankle tracker." "Die." "I'd rather live and rub your feet." Alaric threw another shoe. This one missed. Raiden caught it, kissed it, and placed it gently at Alaric's feet. "Shall I clean the others too?" "Are you in love with me or clinically unwell?" "Both." Nighttime softness. Later, curled up in bed, Raiden on the floor by request, Alaric stared at the ceiling. His chest ached. Not from the pregnancy. From something worse. Affection. Real, devastating, unwanted affection. Because Raiden wasn't just some lovesick idiot with power and obsession. He was soft, too. Gentle when Alaric was sick. Silent when Alaric needed quiet. Furious when the world threatened him. But silent when Alaric pushed him away. Alaric sighed. "Still gonna throw another shoe tomorrow." Raiden, half asleep, smiled from the floor. "I'll catch it, love." Chapter 4. Bonded Hearts and Bulletproof Love. Alaric was 7 months pregnant, which, according to him, was 7 months too long. He was bloated, irritable, constantly kicking guards in the shins, and deeply suspicious of every snack Raiden tried to hand-feed him like a pampered prince. "Don't look at me like that," Alaric grumbled as Raiden hovered beside him with a glass of freshly juiced organic mango. "You're not my nurse." Raiden smiled. "But I am your husband, and future father of your hormonal chaos baby." Alaric stared. "Do you want me to shoot you again?" "I'd prefer cuddles," Raiden replied, setting the juice down. "But I'll take bullets. It's still quality time." Softening. Just a little. It had been weeks since the last assassination attempt, or at least the last successful one. Raiden had upgraded security so thoroughly that a mosquito couldn't fly near Alaric without a laser-guided warning system sounding off. See, but even with drones, bodyguards, thermal detection, and Raiden personally guarding the door like a rabid hellhound, the danger outside never truly stopped. Which meant much to Alaric's dismay. He was forced to depend on the overprotective lunatic who wouldn't stop calling him Darling Sunshine Knife Baby. And he hated to admit it, but Raiden wasn't useless. In fact, he was terrifyingly efficient. One glare from Raiden and Mafia boss changed continents. One whisper from him, and bank accounts emptied. One touch to Alaric's lower back and nope, not going there. Alaric blinked and realized he had been staring at Raiden for 10 seconds too long. "I don't trust you," he muttered, looking away. "You slept on my chest last week," Raiden whispered like a secret. "I was sleep-deprived. You drooled. You should have died." Flirting, fights, and missed shots. It became their daily routine. Flirt, fight, flirt harder. Raiden would corner Alaric in the hallway with a bouquet of blood-stained roses and say, "Marry me again. We're already married. Then divorce me and marry me again. I want more vows. You're insane. You're glowing." Alaric threw a knife. Raiden dodged, then kissed him on the cheek. Another day, Raiden knelt down to kiss the stretch marks forming over Alaric's hip. Alaric glared down at him. "What the hell are you doing?" "Worshipping the most powerful alpha in the world, also my husband, also hot." Alaric nearly shot him on impulse, but he missed on purpose. Maybe. The ambush. It happened on a Thursday because, of course, violence never takes weekends. Alaric had insisted on attending a safe, neutral business meet. Raiden had nearly passed out from stress. "This is a trap," Raiden warned. "Your glow is too soft today. They'll think you're weak." "I'll stab them with a glow stick then," Alaric muttered, tugging his coat on over his slightly swollen belly. "Back off!" Raiden gritted his teeth but followed anyway. They didn't make it past the first hallway. Explosion. Gunfire. Screams. Raiden had his weapon out in seconds. Alaric moved slower, his instincts focused on shielding his belly. Bullets rained. Blood splattered. Alaric grunted as one grazed his arm, his palm going to his stomach protectively. He stumbled behind cover, rage rising like bile in his throat. And suddenly, his thoughts weren't about the baby or even himself. "If I die, he'll destroy the world." Raiden, wild-eyed and bleeding from his shoulder, reached him first. "You're okay," Raiden breathed, voice trembling. "You're okay. I've got you." He wrapped Alaric in his coat and held him like the earth might crack open beneath them. "You're not going anywhere," he whispered fiercely. "Not without me. I wasn't planning on dying, idiot." Raiden kissed his forehead anyway. "Even if you were, I'd come drag you back." Late-night hospital chaos. Alaric awoke in a sterile hospital room, tastefully decorated, of course, because Raiden had threatened the design team during construction. White walls, silk sheets, a very annoying husband sitting by the bed, eyes swollen from refusing sleep. "I'm fine," Alaric muttered. "You bled, you fainted, I panicked," Raiden replied, gripping his hand tightly. "You're supposed to be the terrifying Mafia overlord." "I am, except when it comes to you." Alaric shifted. His side ached. His stomach fluttered not from the baby this time, but from Raiden's voice. "I hate hospitals. You can yell at me instead. I hate you." "Perfect. We're making progress." Raiden moved to adjust his pillow. Alaric didn't swat him away. Raiden took that as an invitation to sit beside him on the bed cautiously, like the wild alpha might explode again. "Just this once," Alaric mumbled. Raiden slowly eased onto the bed. Didn't speak, didn't gloat. He just gently wrapped an arm around Alaric's side, palm resting over his bump like a vow. The silence stretched, comfortable. "Then, I could still kill you," Alaric muttered. "You'd miss. I missed on purpose." Raiden smiled into his neck. "You're so in love with me. I'm so in pain." "Same thing." Alaric sighed, closed his eyes. Let Raiden stay. For once, he didn't kick him off. Chapter 5. Happily Marked Ever After. The world had gone quiet. Quiet for the first time since Raiden Blackthorn laid his eyes on Alaric Vesper and declared uninvited that fate had hand-delivered him a mate. It had taken bloodshed, explosives, one forced mating bond, a 7-month emotional roller coaster, and enough chaos to ruin 3 Mafia empires. But now, peace, sort of. Because today, in a private militarized golden-laid hospital wing built just for the Vesper Blackthorn heir's birth, the baby had arrived. And Raiden cried first. Not the baby, Raiden. He bawled. Tears streamed down his face like twin rivers while he clutched the squirming, red-faced bundle of chaos. And then, with the most dramatic gasp known to mankind, the 6'3" Enigma Mafia god fainted on the spot. Right onto the marble floor. Alaric, exhausted, pale, and cradling a slightly crusty towel to his neck, stared at his unconscious husband and muttered, "Great. My clingy psycho-mafia husband is also a crybaby." His personal doctor wheezed and turned away to pretend he didn't hear that. When Raiden came to clutching his heart dramatically and mumbling something about angels and fate, he crawled up to Alaric's hospital bed like a starving Victorian poet, then wrapped his arms around both Alpha and Baby. "I've never loved anything more than this," he sniffled, tears somehow still falling. Alaric narrowed his eyes. "You said the same thing about that gun you named after me." "Yes, but this time it's a baby with your eyebrows. God help me." The underworld learned, quickly. No one touched the Vesper Blackthorn heir. Not after Raiden executed 6 entire syndicates in one night because someone tweeted that Alaric looked bloated. The baby was sacred, more protected than national secrets. The child had a golden pacifier, diamond-encrusted booties, and a tactical security team of ex-assassins who sang lullabies. Raiden spoiled both of them. Alaric complained daily, but he never left. 3 months later, their lives were chaos. "Raiden, the baby threw mashed carrots on my handgun." "He's artistic, darling. He's 3 months old. That's not art, that's sabotage." Raiden grinned, bare-chested with their baby strapped to him in a designer sling. "Don't worry, I bought a new gun. And another kitchen. Why would the baby need another kitchen? He deserves options." Alaric sighed, loudly, aggressively, then stormed out of the room muttering about planning an escape. Raiden followed him 10 seconds later with a trail of glitter-stickered love notes. Their mansion became a blend of war room and nursery. Mafia meetings were interrupted by baby wails. Alaric would bark orders with a pacifier dangling from his shirt and a death glare that said, "Yes, I'm deadly and sleep-deprived." Raiden, meanwhile, used baby photos as leverage. "Smile, love, or I'll send the diaper-changing pic to the East European Alliance." Alaric nearly stabbed him. Nearly. One night, after a long day of mafia drama, spit-up, and near murder over blanket preferences, Raiden curled around Alaric in bed. Their child slept peacefully beside them in a custom-built cradle shaped like a bulletproof chariot. Raiden kissed Alaric's temple and whispered, "You ran 1,000 times, but your heart never did." Alaric groaned, "Don't get sappy, or I'm running again." "We both know even if you ran away, you'll always land in my arms again, darling." "Shut up." Raiden laughed softly. So did the baby, as if understanding the chaos he'd been born into. And Alaric? He didn't leave. Not this time. They still bickered, still fought over the baby's name. Alaric still threatened to kill his clingy husband at least once a day. But now their life was more than happy. Messy, loud, violent, beautiful. And they wouldn't exchange it for anything else.